Nvidia RTX ray tracing performance, some sweet switch accessories, USB-C charging from your monitor, ergo mice and ponies, all coming up on TekThing. This episode of TekThing is brought to you by Opsgenie. Your next incident doesn't stand a chance. And a big thank you to our patrons. Join the crew that makes TekThing possible at patreon.com/TekThing. Thanks.
I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm Patrick Norton.
And this is TekThing, where we have something useful in every single show.
If you're in a part of the country where you're currently hugging the exhaust ports on your PC trying to stay warm,
oh yeah, that snowstorm. Woo.
Are with you.
I got family out in North Carolina. I know what y'all are talking about out there.
Just the other night it was down to 42, but it was raining.
Yeah.
So it was a cold 42.
I wish I had some snow about now.
Just drive.
Yeah, I know, right?
3.5 hours east of here.
Tahoe!
When we need winter, we drive to it in the Bay Area. Oh my goodness.
So what's up today?
Okay, something I've been thinking about, we're talking about this on Twitch last week, is Battlefield 5 finally came out, right?
Hooray!
Yeah, so, and looking at Battlefield 5, it's like, oh, we finally have RTX, DXR, ray-traced video game awesomeness.
Yes!
Not a demo, not a test demo, not a demo-y, testy thing, but an actual shipping in the real world video game. But before we talk about RTX performance, I just want to remind everybody, 10 series Nvidia GTX GPUs, pretty reasonably priced right now, as are actually the Radeon RX 590, probably kind of the new hotness compared to a 1050 Ti that just came out recently. And the RX Vega 56 and 64, there's just, there's some nice affordable GPUs.
So we're looking at 250 up into like the 400s.
Well, look right there. That's 189. Well, this is on sale, right? That's $190 for a 1060, which is a nice card if you're doing 1080p gaming. Let me just resort this from the featured items to highest price, and you'll see, okay, we're looking at the RX, Vega 64 at like just under $700. GTX 1080s at $550. Things are pretty affordable at this point. And if you're looking for like a 1050 Ti, AMD 590, or 1070, prices are really, really reasonable.
Yeah.
The 20 series cards, though, they do offer a bump in performance. But you kind of think, oh, I'm gonna get the new Nvidia card and with the real-time ray tracing.
Yeah.
But we've been waiting. We've been waiting for real-world benchmarks, and those started showing up at the tail end of November. And there was a big update in performance on those numbers last week.
All right.
Let's take a look at we've kind of talked about this before, but let's hammer it home. This is an RTX 2080. This is Battlefield 5, 4K, 71.4 frames per second, or 37% faster than an overclocked 1080.
And that's 4K.
That's 4K.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. This is HardOCP.com, Kyle and the crew over there. So if you're looking at DRX ray tracing, if you have like the $700 to $800 for one of those cards, you're getting some fantastic 4K performance.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Or VR performance is there.
Yeah.
So I'm laughing right now because we're going to scroll up to turning on. Now again, this is a couple weeks ago, before December 5th, and you're looking right now.
Oh.
So that's 43.4 frames per second, running Battlefield 5, getting the DXR in low at 1080p.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that's pretty brutal. You drop from 4K to 1080p, and like the HardOCP crew was looking at an average of 43 frames per second.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, and even overclocked, it was 54 frames per second. And what's worse, quote, performance very choppy and inconsistent when playing, which is awful. So, December 5th was the release of NVIDIA's 417.22 Wickel GeForce driver, which Guru 3G benchmarked and found it delivered some pretty hefty jumps in performance. And suddenly,
that's good.
1440p DXR ray tracing is possible on your $1,200 or $1,500 RTX 2080 Ti GPU. So, if you have a 2080 Ti, if you spend all the money for that, this is ray tracing performance. This is DX12, like 154 frames per second.
Okay.
This is DX12 with DXR set to low. This is DX12, DXR set to high, DXR Ultra. Okay, so DXR low at like 98 frames per second. if I'm reading all the things.
And that's at HD.
And that's at HD. And if
Okay.
you go to 1440, you're still at 82 frames per second.
Still good.
That's good. That's gameable.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're looking at a more basic RTX 2080, again, you know, DX12 plus DXR low, 86, 71 frames per second, pretty manageable. So this is a good thing.
But once you get to 4K.
Once you get to 4K, everything falls apart. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, okay, so, well, if you're looking at 4K, you're looking at like, okay, on an RTX 27, you're looking at like 52 frames per second without ray tracing on, and with ray tracing on, 36 frames per second.
Ooh. Yeah,
Ray
no.
tracing, 43 frames per second on an RTX 2080.
Still no.
By the way, this is guru3d.com. We got a link to this in the show notes. 54 frames per second at 4K. So 4K is not really happening,
Yeah.
even with DXR set to low. But 1440p, right? Again, RTX 2080 Ti, you're looking at 67 to 82. DXR Ultra, 67 to 82 frames per second. And 57 to 71 frames per second at 1440p. That's on a 2080.
71 is a lot more feasible.
A lot more feasible. And then on the 2070, 45 to 58 frames, getting a little in the questionable area.
But if we're being completely realistic, most people that are playing games are on 1080 screens.
The vast majority of people playing, well, you could also say the vast majority of people playing games are playing like one of 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Where frame rates are prioritized, you don't need much of a GPU. But if you are doing VR, if you have, do you have an ultra widescreen monitor?
I do.
I have an ultra widescreen monitor.
Yep.
If you're running a 4K monitor, if you're looking at some of the options for, say, using a 4K television as a desktop monitor, and you want to get, you know, maybe 4K resolution instead of 1080p resolution, that's a whole nother conversation. But there is certainly demand for it. But yeah, if all you're running is 1080p, you should be excited. What bothers me more is, and let me make it clear, we're in the early days of you know, sort of ray tracing and gaming development for it. And what we're seeing right now, they're either patches or I feel like they're late additions to the process. But you know, Digital Trends, along with a whole bunch of other sites, you know, they talked about, like, you're in the frenzy of gameplay. Ray tracing's awesomeness is a lot harder to notice than you might think, in part because game manufacturers are so good at working with the tools that they have. And in part, I suspect, because they're learning a lot about where to use RTX in their games. And I don't think, you know, we're basically looking at Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
And I can see the movie, but I can't think of the name.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite new game.
I've never been, the earlier Tomb Raider games just never did it for me. But the new one's freaking amazing.
It's so much fun.
It is. But you know, one of the things, like I said, the Digital Trends article and a bunch of others we've seen are like, you know, yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
But it's really subtle.
Yeah.
And you're probably working so hard not to be killed, you're not noticing it.
Yep.
So, you know, we'll be talking to some GPU gurus in the next few weeks. We're probably going to see some announcements at CES. I'm curious to see when prices are going to drop on those RTX GPUs, or maybe we're going to see some evolution in those parts. If you're good to go, if you're happy, if you're pleased with your current GPU, I'm thinking you probably want to hold off until next year. I feel, we're using feeling words here in the group, I feel that it might be a little too early for RTX for most of us, unless your life is about Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
Or Tomb Raider. Just saying.
My life is about Tomb Raider, so eventually I will want to.
Your life is about the Switch.
Dude, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is so much fun. Like, I almost forgot to write one of my scripts for a show because I was playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, I bought it.
Okay.
Dude.
Well, you mentioned like your Switch like every other week.
Well, yeah, that's because, you know, Smash Brothers just came out. More on that in a bit.
In any case, email ask@TekThing.com or tweet at Patrick Norton or at Snubs. We are waiting to hear from you. We're curious what you want us to cover next.
I was recently introduced to this company called PowerA, and they make all sorts of these awesome accessories for video game consoles, including the PlayStation, the Xbox, and of course, the Nintendo Switch, my absolute favorite console ever. And of course, I, being the Zelda diehard that I am, I wanted to check out some of their themed accessories because, as you can see with the close-up amazing footage that I'm going to show you today, all of these are based on Zelda.
Well, okay, I'm doing this because, you know, I'm sitting here like,
Destroying my controller.
We've seen the controller that is on loan to you for the purposes of the evaluation of the quality of PowerA's products. But I mean, we've seen 10,000 different companies that usually show up and like, hey, we're Super Amalgamated Mega Awesome Gaming Corp, and we've got a $44 gaming keyboard that is made out of spit and rage, because that's how you'll feel after using it for several minutes. But there's a lot of, I mean, I'm doing this because it feels really well built.
Yeah. Exactly.
And a lot of, you know.
A lot of times you see like third-party vendors come out with products that may not even necessarily be licensed with the console maker, and they just kind of suck. So I really wanted to try these out because these are licensed with Nintendo and see if they're actually really good.
If I turn it the right way, you can see the gold.
Oh my gosh, the gold chrome. Yeah, that's in my mentions. So today I'm checking out just a slew of gorgeous Zelda-themed Switch accessories, as well as a special Smash Brothers controller. Yes, it looks exactly like the GameCube controllers, and that's so cool. So all of the controllers that I'm reviewing again are kindly provided by PowerA, so thank you PowerA. The first one I wanted to check out is this wired controller, which is the Link character series. It does have Link in the corner there. This one you can find on Amazon as well as their website over at PowerA.com, and over on Amazon it's 35 bucks on Prime, so not a bad price at all, but again that is a wired edition. So this one does have an 8-foot cable provided with it, which is great. It's a detachable USB cable, which is plenty long for a small to medium-sized living room. It's plenty long for my apartment living room, which is great. The front of it has a soft touch finish, which is a little different from the Pro Controller, and it is made out of plastic. I am all about the gold chrome D-pad. That's one of my favorite things. It's just totally extra, and I'm totally down with that. There's nothing special about the D-pad other than the color. That's it. It's just, it works just like any other D-pad. Yeah, it's gold and it's shiny. It does feel a little lighter than the Nintendo Pro Controller, but it's exactly the same size. Good. The joysticks do feel the same, as well as the buttons. I did notice that the home button, as well as the plus and minus buttons, they protrude out a little bit farther, and that makes it a little bit easier to find them without looking at the controller. I have noticed with the Pro Controller, because they're very flush, sometimes I accidentally hit home instead of plus.
Hate that.
While I'm looking for them. It's really annoying. I don't like it very much. But anyway, moving on, there is also a wireless version, and this feels pretty much the same, but it's wireless instead. Duh. It costs $49.99 on Amazon, and it's pretty beautiful as well. This one is the enhanced wireless controller, again with a Link theme, of course, and it is Bluetooth 5.0, which is great. It also works about 30 feet from your Switch, so no surprise there. I had no trouble connecting this to my Nintendo Switch, and it worked great for my Smash Brothers battles. I was able to claim a few different spirits, which I was very excited about. Worked great. It does have motion controls on it too, which is great for archery and for like aiming in Breath of the Wild. It has advanced gaming buttons on the bottom, and you might be wondering what you use those with. You can pretty much map them in game to whatever you would like, which could be extremely useful for something like Smash Brothers. Lastly, it also has LEDs like you would expect to show you the controller number, if it has low battery, and the connection is actually connected. It does come with 2 AA's too, and those, they quote, it'll last 30 hours of gameplay, which I haven't reached that point yet. I want to. I will very quickly with Smash Brothers, but I haven't hit 30 hours of gameplay yet with this controller. So it hasn't died on me yet, but I would say just buy a couple of M-loops and then just recharge those all the time off of Amazon, and there you go. Save yourself some money. The Comfort Grip is the next one I wanted to check out, and this one is actually nicer than the original that comes with the Nintendo Switch. And the reason I say that is because this one features some gorgeous art on the front, which is beautiful. It still has the LED windows, so you can see the battery life, etc. And the best part on this one is the rubber texture that you get on the back of the grips. So unlike the regular Nintendo Switch one, which is just plain old plastic and gets super sweaty, this one has this nice rubber texture, which gives you a lot more comfort whenever you're holding it. These run $19.99, really, really inexpensive. A great option for like, especially Zelda fans.
The Zelda one, so hard not to make like a sweaty Switch Zelda hand gaming.
How many hours hours are you playing Zelda where your hands get super sweaty? A lot. I get very stressed out when I hit those Guardians, okay? The Zelda one is not available online. It is available in stores, but I did find a Minecraft one on Amazon that I'm linking below in case you're interested in it. The next accessory is a lot more useful than I thought it would be. This is the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con and Pro Controller charging dock. And I found it over on Amazon, just their regular version, which doesn't have the Zelda theme, and it's $14.99, $30, but apparently it's half off, which is a great sale price. So yeah, it's a charging station, and this one is for Joy-Cons as well as a Pro Controller at the same time. So it has room for one Pro Controller on the front, and then you have two Joy-Con controllers for the left and right Joy-Cons, and all three can charge simultaneously, which is great.
I'm laughing, but as somebody who has like 9 chargers and all of the cables on the corner of their desk,
that's the
anything
thing.
that makes it more organized is a plus.
Yeah. So you can charge like your 2 Joy-Cons on your Switch and then plug this into the USB port in the back of your docking station. And then you can charge extra Joy-Cons and a Pro Controller all at the same time off of one outlet, which is so cool. I really appreciate that. The bottom allows you to do some cable management too, as it comes with a little cable wrap on the underside, which is really nice. So it has those little notches where you can clean it up so you don't have a bunch of cables laying out. And the USB-C dongle is removable whenever you plug in your Pro Controller. That way you don't have to worry about like messing up the port or anything by trying to stick it in there all awkwardly. So I think it's a good price, and I actually use this a lot. So I was very happy with this accessory. Like the most random thing, but I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I needed this in my life until I was checking it out. And the very last one that I wanted to show you is this beautiful, awesome, wired or wireless controller for the Switch. And this is the GameCube edition. Smash the competition. It's the PowerA GameCube Style Controller for, it's $49.99, $50 for the wireless version, or $25 for the wired version. These ones are awesome. They use the same technology as the other wireless controllers, so you still got Bluetooth 5.0, motion controls and all. There is no Rumble or Amiibo NFC in their wireless controllers from PowerA in these, so that's probably the biggest negative if you care about having like the Amiibo NFC. This one is also spec'd to last 30 hours, which again, I have not reached that point yet, so I can't tell you if it actually lasts 30 hours or not. For anybody though who enjoys old school games or the days of GameCube, Smash Brothers, like me back in college, you will want this controller. I don't believe that there is any other GameCube style controller on the market, especially a wireless one that works with the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So that's really cool. So no wonder, of course, this one's entirely like sold out, except for the black edition, I think.
That's okay.
Yeah, they're all sold out online, so you can't even find the purple one right now, so I really like the purple. You must, though, update your Switch software to 6.0 or higher for it to be compatible, else it won't work with your Switch. So just make sure you update your Switch before you turn this thing on, and then you can connect it, and it works perfectly fine. And I had no issues with it, and I thought it was so cool that I can map all of the Switch functionalities for Smash Brothers with a GameCube controller.
I should point out, you've already done like a lap of the office with the box.
I did.
You know, for your Smash Brothers Switch game. Which
I'm just gonna go off camera. I brought it in. I was so happy about it. It's so fun. So y'all all out there know that I love doing my little annual Switch accessory roundup. So of course, if you have other accessories that you think that I should check out for the Nintendo Switch, let me know. It's still a really big console in the console industry right now. And
no, they actually sold, I think, a staggering, they sold a staggering number of them over Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And it's already vastly outsold. What was the Nintendo Wii?
It's ridiculous. So yeah, both of us think that the Switch is going to be around for quite some time before they end up doing a new console. Probably 2 or 3 years maybe.
I've given up on speculating on console
That'll be my prediction.
But it's not one of those consoles where you're like,
yeah, exactly.
we should use it to level that table in the hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no games.
So thanks again to PowerA for sending those out for me to test out. I love these. They're so cool. And if you have any picks that you want me to check out as far as Nintendo Switch accessories go, email us, ask@TekThing.com, or you can tweet me at Snubs. I would love to hear your recommendations.
So the new Smash Brothers for the Switch sucks.
Do you want to play afterwards? I'll show you how much you suck.
Not even a little bit.
Oh. There is a lot in this world that you just cannot control. Weather, for example. But you can control how your company reacts to incidents, like a terrible snowstorm that shuts down half the country. That felt timely. How your company responds will either keep your happy, loyal customers or ruin your sales during the holiday season. Getting alerts immediately to the right person is critical when that incident occurs. That's why there's Opsgenie by Atlassian. Opsgenie empowers your team to plan for service disruptions, stay in control, and it helps to notify all the right people through scheduling and escalation paths that take into account things like time zones and holidays. Deployment and scheduling of alerts is totally flexible. They can even be sent over email or SMS or mobile push or even voice calls, and it's supported by over 200 integrations like Jira, Amazon CloudWatch, Datadog, and a lot more. Opsgenie can also help your team learn how to improve future incident responses with the built-in tracking and insights. I think about how everything is connected nowadays. We have IoT devices and infrastructure, even our cars, and there's always some kind of server downtime or there's maintenance. And while you can't stop the service disruptions, you can make them a much more pleasant experience for your customers, like me. So give me, a consumer, a reason to love your product and give the unsung heroes in your company a better tool to fight the good fight. With Opsgenie, your next incident doesn't stand a chance. Visit opsgenie.com to sign up to get a free company account and add up to 5 team members. That's opsgenie.com. Never miss a critical alert again with Opsgenie. Our thanks to Atlassian Opsgenie for their support of TekThing.
Dell's 27 USB-C Ultrathin monitor, aka the model 2719DC. I like saying model numbers.
DC.
If it looks familiar, it should. It's essentially the same design as Dell's 27-inch Ultrathin monitor. And that's that delightfully thin 27-inch 1440p IPS panel with the svelte infinity edge bezels that we talked about
So pretty.
several months ago. There are a couple changes with this, though. Where the original Ultrathin was VESA Display HDR 400, the new USB-C model is Display HDR 600 certified, and it includes a single USB-C port and an HDMI input instead of a pair of HDMI inputs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with some USB-C.
It powers your laptop.
That's awesome.
It makes it, if you like life with fewer cables, we should talk. Now, Display HDR ratings, they basically ensure contrast ratios, 99% Rec 709, 90% DCP3 color gamut on this particular monitor, along with peak brightness standards. This monitor is rated at 600 candelas per meter squared peaks. Those peak ratings, though, those are for flash minimums. And if you're like flash minimum, well, think of when an explosion takes place, right? It's just a big bright pop in the middle of a field of, you know what would be really good? I'm thinking about a certain movie involving a certain admiral. I don't want to do any spoilers, but if you can think of something exploding in HDR on a black background, maybe with some stars, you know the movie I'm thinking of. Figure 400 candelas per meter square for normal everyday brightness. That's really, really bright. If you are in a situation, for example, you are in an office tower in Miami and you have trouble seeing your monitor because it's not bright enough, this is your monitor. I asked, by the way, if this is the same panel as the 2719DC, which is the one we looked at earlier this year. It is, but this one's tweaked to have higher brightness levels, and of course they add that USB-C power option. And like the DC, this panel supports AMD FreeSync, so you kind of get a free bonus on there if you have an AMD GPU.
That's cool.
One thing I found frustrating, you've seen me do this, every time I step up from my desk, I turn off my monitor.
Oh yeah.
If the monitor is turned off, the USB-C cable doesn't deliver power to the laptop.
Oh no.
Seems obvious in retrospect. But digging into the manual, I found this line that reveals single USB Type-C ports to supply power to compatible laptop while receiving video signal and USB data. So I'm like, oh no. We know that leaving the monitor all the time with a screensaver is bad for the monitor, but I can't power my laptop or charge my laptop. So it turns out if the monitor is powered on and you close the laptop lid, the laptop will charge even though the screen goes blank. But again,
that's cool.
Turn off the power to the monitor and the laptop won't charge, which, given that I am vigilant and shut my monitor off when I leave my desk. Power saving and extended monitor life, because I'm a geek, death to screensavers. It makes it really, really hard to charge a laptop over USB-C. I just had to change my habits a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably too much information there, but it was something where I walked away and my laptop wasn't charged.
Well,
So
it's one of those real life scenarios where you're like, oh, this is a thing.
this is a thing. I will have to change the way I do my thing to get this thing to work. In any case, I used it with several different manufacturers of laptops. They all charged fine. Nothing I had I think came with a larger than a 65 watt USB-C power supply. But if your laptop can use some USB-C charging and you want fewer cables on the desktop, and you don't mind a monitor that substitutes tilt for height, that was my big challenge with the original version of this monitor, because I can't go like this. I just get to go like
tilt
this.
it, yeah.
And it's hard to find phone books to stack your monitor on top of. Not that a sophisticated and stylish ultra-thin monitor like this should be stacked on top of phone books, but it's an option. In any case, this is a pretty solid option for the current $420 price.
Wow.
It's a good-looking piece of glass.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful.
I've used a lot of Dell monitors over the years. Haven't been disappointed yet. I want the vertical adjustment. Oh, and if you want to vase mount this on some sort of arm, not going to happen because there's no vase mount.
Good to know.
I will say though, it's really things so light. It's so easy to carry it around by just grabbing the arm.
Oh, I've seen you do that through the office, and I was just like, wow, either Patrick is like super strong man over here,
Not
or
that strong.
it's a very
really
light monitor.
Yeah, but I mean,
like I could carry it with one hand, so that's saying
but it's
something.
stable. It's not like you're going to breathe on and it's going to tip over, because we've all had that monitor experience, haven't we? Maybe that's
a thing.
just me. In any case, Dell.com, links down in the show notes, and we're curious what kind of monitors you're looking for next year. We're seeing a lot of fairly good 1440p monitors out there. I actually found a really great article we should talk about maybe next week about 4K monitors, using actually 4K televisions
TVs
as a desktop monitor.
Wow.
Which is, I just haven't been willing to get 5 of those in my house.
Weird.
For testing. It's more common than you might think.
Really?
Because it's really affordable.
Interesting.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
All right.
Ask@TekThing.com. If you've got a question, we're listening.
We got a tweet from MikeyBC23, who tweets, "Hey at TekThing crew, last week you covered the Lenovo Legion desktop gaming rig, which got me searching for my son for school and gaming. Any recommendations for a gaming laptop in the sub 1K price range? Thoughts on the Legion Y530 laptop?" I would say that this is great timing because I love the Legion, but the Acer Predator Helios 300 kind of steals the show for this answer. So I checked out camel.com, and apparently it dropped to $999 in November, so it's sub 1K now, but then it went up to $1,099. But I would still consider it because, it's got those premium specs that are included in it. It's got space for additional storage if you want to upgrade it in the future. And it's dropped in price, so it's very, very comparable now to the Lenovo Legion. So definitely put that one on your list if you want like 144 hertz refresh rates. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like 144 hertz, 6 gigabyte 1060, a 6-core Core i7-8750H, 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD.
If you want to see the full review, it was in TekThing 198, which you can find on TekThing.com. It's awesome. Yeah. It's a good machine.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and you can get it with a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive pre-installed.
Yeah.
For the games.
Now I did mention to him on Twitter as well that my only concerns with that one is the battery life doesn't last very long. It's like 5 to 7 hours or something. It's pretty terrible. And what was the other thing? Oh, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
But that's kind of a thing with all sub 1K gaming laptops. They're all pretty big machines.
I was laughing because when you go into the Legion Y530, and you click down into current models.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how many models they have available right now.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. And there's just.
So some of those aren't sub 1K.
No. But I was just amused. You get used to seeing like 3 models, and all of a sudden you see like 12, and it's like, oh my goodness. That's a lot of models.
That's a lot of models.
Specs are a little lower for the money.
Right.
But the battery life is not 7 minutes long. Okay, 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
Was that gaming for the?
Yes, it
Okay.
was. Yeah, it was. It was with gaming.
Discrete GPUs are hard on batteries.
Yeah, they are.
If they're gonna travel on the plane. Oh goodness.
But if
bring
you
the power
do,
cable.
if you do have questions about gaming laptops or machines in general, let us know. Ask@TekThing.com.
We're here to answer your questions. A big thank you to Hack5 for the studio space. Check out the Security and Privacy Podcast over at hack5.org. And then, guess what? It's time to hack your holidays. There's a sale on for the superior pen testing USB automation tools over at hack5.org. And don't forget, Cloud C2 is remote pen testing made easy, and it's free, people. Control fleets of Hack5 gear from anywhere without spending a metric ton of money. c2.hack5.org. Enterprise-grade tools that don't cost everything you own. This is nice. It's nice.
It is very nice.
It's nice. Oh, my goodness.
And remember, once in a while, put down your phone, step away from the screen, close the laptop, and do something analog. Swamp Daddy, who tweeted us at TekThing, I listen to you at work and laugh every time you two say, now go do something analog, is building new homes while listening analog enough?
Yes.
I would say yes it is,
Yes,
Swamp
it is.
Daddy. Yes it is. That is so cool.
Is that oriented strand board?
I don't know what that means.
In my case, it's something I have to cut into small pieces to carry into the crawl space of my house
Oh.
to strengthen the cripple walls so it doesn't collapse under my house in the event of an earthquake.
Oh, that's fun.
That's after the drilling and the epoxying and the bolting. Yay!
Yes, building a house definitely counts. And if you have analog pics that you would like to send in, ask@tekthing.com is the place to do that. You can also tweet them to us. We'll be happy to share them with everybody out there.
Special bonus recognition for anything involving snow, snow shoveling, snow plowing, watching snow, mocking snow, or sitting inside while avoiding snow.
Mocking snow.
You've never mocked the snow?
No, not yet, but now I want to.
So much to look forward to. Hey, CES is coming. If there's something you're curious, want us to check out, do us a favor, email us, ask@tekthing.com, or tweet @snubs or @Patrick Norton, because I, for one, want to know what John Deere is doing in the AI pavilion.
Me too.
AI-controlled lawnmowers?
That would be awesome.
Is it a cat? Is it Bermuda grass? Only
Really cool.
a lawnmower knows. It's going to be messy, people.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Shannon Morse.
See you next week.
There's a robot that mows your lawn?
Oh, that's a robot vacuum. That's a swimming pool cleaner. Ah, there we go. The RoboMo robotic lawnmower.
Oh my goodness.
The Landroid robotic
Although
lawnmower.
it doesn't look very big, so I feel like it
The
wouldn't be able to get very
Husqvarna
far.
Automower. Well, depending on how big your lawn is.
Yeah, your acreage. I'm from the Midwest, and like, me and all of my neighbors had at least an acre around our house. You get like,
Yeah, most people don't
get
have
a
an
part of the woods, basically.
Oh, here we go. PCMag.com/roundup, the best robot lawnmowers.
It's real?
No, don't even.
This is a thing?
Husqvarna
Whoa,
Automower.
they're pricey.
RoboMo. What price not wandering around your yard in 98% of Pennsylvania?
Well, that's not my job, it's my husband's job.
Well, then you don't care. Although you did buy an automatic grill cleaner to get your husband to do his job of cleaning the grill.
And cooking.
I think terrified me. Still terrified me.